YouTube, what's going on? It's Rob with Sprayer Splash Fragrance Reviews, and today I'm going to be focusing on some fragrances from the house of Brioni. If you're interested in finding out more about those fragrances, please stay tuned. You know, in my own humble opinion, currently, right now, as far as designer releases go, the house that's giving you the best bang for your buck in the gray market is Brioni. You could always argue Lalique, but I really think currently Brioni's fragrances are incredible bang for your buck fragrances and big time quality, right? They've got 4 releases that have come out within the last 3 years, and I really think that this line is just so killer. And with you being able to get them at about 45 to 65 bucks, gray market, it's hard to beat them. So if you don't have any of these fragrances, I'm gonna run through them, and I highly suggest you take a look and see if anything from this house appeals to you. Now, the first release in this current line of fragrances from the house of Brioni was Brioni EDP. This is a violet dominant fragrance, and it kind of resembles certain parts of Fahrenheit. I hate to really compare it to like such an iconic fragrance, but really it's got a lot of the Fahrenheit qualities without like the iconic like pectoral opening that Fahrenheit is known for. Once you get past that, I think it's got like the mid without as much sweetness, and it's got this really kind of clean, slightly floral dry down, incredible fragrance. Brioni EDP is a violet dominant fragrance, watery, almost like ozonic. It's got a slightly fruity feel to it with some sweetness and some woods. It's extremely classy, perfect for work, and could be a signature scent. I really enjoyed this fragrance, and I can tell you honestly, when I first smelled it, I think my sniffer was off. It was during COVID, and I tested positive the next day. When I first smelled it, for some reason, it was kind of giving me like blue vibes, like it was a blue fragrance, and it's obviously not. It's violet with some watery aspects, but it doesn't really go into like a blue frag territory. So this is one you can cop really for about between like 45 to like 55 bucks typically online, and I really believe that this is an incredible bang for your buck. Take a peek at this one. I think it's worth your time. Brioni EDP.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Are you slicing and dicing?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to because I keep getting interrupted. By you being out there in the hallway and doing what you're doing. Now I gotta chop this up.
You were starting it anyway. That's why I said something.
I always do multiple takes.
So I gotta go.
You gotta get out. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me, bro? Next release was my favorite for quite a while, and that is the EDP Intense. Talk about killer for me. I really enjoy that they took a note like apple and made it such a balanced masculine fragrance. I don't really see any weak points or weak parts to the fragrance. The only complaint I think a person may have is that, again, it's not really a big projecting fragrance. All of their fragrances typically are moderately projecting fragrances, kind of reserved, but I think that's just the vibe of the Brioni line of fragrances. So if you can get past that, I think you've got a stunner that, if you are listening and paying attention, this one gets a lot of praise in Fragcom. Now, not saying that is an automatic of anything for you, but I think a lot of people are really starting to take notice to how good this fragrance is, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it from day one. So this is like a juicy apple that you get a little bit of tangerine with that in the opening. It's got a little bit of patchouli in it, which kind of gives it a slightly earthy feel. It's got some saffron in it, slight woods. I mean, that's basically, in layman's terms, what this fragrance is, but it just, the apple accord to me in the opening is just so, it's perfect almost. I really enjoy it. So this fragrance for me has been a love. And, I think if you've never tried it, I highly recommend giving this one a smell. So again, Brioni EDP Intense. This is the third release in the line of the 4 fragrances from Brioni. And this one was my least favorite, but it doesn't mean that it's not a good fragrance. All right, this is Eclat, and this is a 2022 release if I'm not mistaken. When I purchased this fragrance, I actually had to buy it from the Brioni website because it wasn't available at any retail outlets yet, and definitely not any of the gray market retailers. When I first got it, I was a little disappointed because the grapefruit didn't pop as much as I wanted. It's a rose dominant fragrance, but I don't think everybody that smells it is going to just automatically say it's a rose fragrance. It is like a muted grapefruit that's got kind of like a slight incensey feel because it's a very dry fragrance. It's got a green rose, and then it's got like a slight, it's got musk in the base, but it's also got like a slight metallic accord to it. And it smells a little different on my skin from time to time. Sometimes it feels like it's slightly more smoky than I'm getting like the green, or the slightly more incensey than I'm getting like of the green rose. But it's always a fragrance that I think is perfect for the warm weather. Now, like a warm and dry day, I think it's the perfect fragrance for that. So, again, Eclat. Now, this is the latest in the 4 current releases from Brioni. This is Essential, and this is a 2023 release. And this is currently my most favorite of the 4. It has passed EDP Intense for me, and I just, this has kind of got like a green hue to it. I don't know if you can make it out in the video here on my camera, but if you are paying attention, it seems like a lot of the designer houses are starting to bring out more fragrances that kind of focus on like green accords. The opening on this thing is really good. It's like a refined, almost candied-like cardamom that's paired with like the sparkling citrus. Then the tomato leaf gives a slight metallic accord, and the dry down gives you a slightly mentholated kind of woody feel. And I mean, I just think it's a beautiful fragrance, and that opening is just so nice. You can just smell it from the nozzle actually. Because it's the newest of the 4 fragrances, the price is still a little bit on the high end, but I have seen this one between like 65 to 75. If I had to recommend a house for somebody to go and pick up all of their releases for a particular line, this would be the line that I would recommend. That's not something that I always do, but I really believe that these 4 fragrances blaze their own trail, and I feel like they've made a mark in the fragrance community currently as far as designer releases go. So these are 4 quality releases from a designer that I think are worth your time. Okay, so that's the video. I thank you guys for coming and checking me out again. It's been a minute, but I will be back with more content very soon. Until next time, you guys take care, be safe, peace.